Michigan State football talk. What are we going to talk about with Connor Muldowney of Spartan Shadows? Oh, I don't know. Maybe some Mel Tucker, maybe some coaching search, maybe some quarterback talk. Gee, if only there was something to talk about around here.
You are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This episode of Locked On Spartans is brought to you by eBay Motors. A championship team is all about each player being a perfect fit, and same with your vehicle. So, for the parts that fit, head to eBay Motors and look for the green check. Stay in the game with eBay Guaranteed Fit, ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply, Connor. Woo! All right, got through all that in one breath. Hey, everyone, it's Matt Sheehan, host of Locked On Spartans, your team of green and white every single day. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Now, enough of me just rambling on and on and on. Hey, we have a guest on today's show. It is great friend of the program. His name is Connor Muldowney. He does Spartan Shadows, Spartans Avenue. All things MSU content because, Connor, I don't know about you over there, but it's a little busy in our neck of the woods for MSU content. Same with you guys a little bit?
Yeah, I think we're gluttons for punishment at this point.
Yeah. That was, you know what? Here's my first question. And this just goes, further than just small talk, just two friends talking. Kind of like, how are you doing though? Like, are we as MSU fans like doing okay right now? Because on one hand, the season's going on, hasn't been great, but like a little exciting. The coaching search. How are you doing as a Michigan State fan right now?
I'm sick. Our football team stinks. Jaden Ankins has a sprained ankle. I now have 3 articles of clothing I can no longer wear with Mel Tucker's name/face on. Other than that, like, I'm thriving. I'm having the time of my life. I feel like this is how it's supposed to be. This is life. This is that's it. How are you? Happy.
Sensational. Not like there was a roadmap for this season coming off the rails and us being in these dire times. Connor, I didn't think it would happen before we even got into October. I gotta say, like, even in your wildest dreams, like, let's say MSU gets hurt again, and all the strengths of the team aren't really as good as a lot of us think they are, which is so far so good. It's September 26th, and we're actually 16 days into this whole Mel Tucker saga? I don't know. Who cares? We all care, actually. That's the problem.
Do you want a spin zone on this whole situation?
Please give me a spin zone.
At least, we found out early in the season that we're just no good instead of waiting until, we play an actual good team in October and just get completely demolished and then the whole season flies off the rails. So now we have no expectations. Any win from here on out is just a cherry on top of a – yeah.
There's something to be said about ripping the Band-Aid off. And so, kind of like the sick person I am, we leave the Maryland game. MSU loses by 22 points at home. Second straight home game where they just get boat raced off the field. It was not competitive because, Maryland was up 21-0 at the opening kickoff. And just like the sick person I am, Connor, as we record on Tuesday afternoon, I'm already starting to come back to, hey, I was not that good, are they? I mean, how hard can it possibly be? Can you get yourself into a mind space of talking yourself into a win this Saturday, or is it going to take a little more time, or are you just a completely healthy individual and you're just writing it off already?
No, I don't think any Michigan State fan is a healthy individual at this point. I think we all go through the 5 stages of convincing ourselves we're going to win until Friday, and we're okay, we're going to lose by 30 points. And then on Saturday, we're you know what? It's game day. We're gonna wake up. This is gonna be the week. This is the week we turn around. And then by game time 7:30, by 8:05, we're yep. But next week, the week after that, that's when you start thinking about the next game at 8:05.
Yeah. Well, we can't lose the bye week next week.
You're right. Well, true. That's a win in my books.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's when the hearing is. I'm sure that's going to be the messiest week. It's going to be the messiest bye week of all time. Even when MSU Even when our Spartans aren't going to be playing this week, it's still just going to be headlines all over the place, and it's going to be nuts. The last time that we recorded Locked On Spartans here, this was yesterday's show. We talked about the quarterback battle. We missed the Mel Tucker statement because, well, I recorded before he dropped his latest statement. Connor, I don't know if you saw it, but his attorneys, they came out combative, aggressive, saying that he did not embarrass the school. It is ridiculous to even categorize it as that. Do you have any comments on this Mel Tucker statement? I just got to do my due diligence here because we read the statements on both sides. We are an equal opportunity podcast here. But quite frankly, I'm also starting to just not care what either side has to say. But when you saw the Mel Tucker statement yesterday, trying to save his job, I mean, anything come to mind?
I mean, it's this is what his second statement since the whole thing, and neither of them have sounded good. He's just coming out aggressive and saying that, we just want to get out of a contract kind of thing. I don't know. You can't do what you did and expect people to feel bad for you. Even if it was somehow consensual, even if that was the case, why on earth would you do it with who you did this with? No person with a brain would do what you did. And you just, you threw away $80 million because, because you're an idiot. I don't know. It's so exhausting. It's so exhausting.
That's a good word for it. Just exhausting. I mean, and unfortunately, kind of just we were talking about a minute ago, it ain't going to get any cleaner here, Connor. This is going to be very messy. And you could sense that because I can understand why Mel Tucker's very upset. Let's say that this all was consensual, above board. He thought it was all good. That's what, $70 million he just flushed down the toilet. I'd be a little upset too, but man, I am just fascinated with the legal team strategy of coming out swinging as if they're cutting wrestling promos here. I mean, I don't know. I just think that there's a different tone to go about this because I don't know. You know what really makes yourself seem innocent and that you were in the clear is by essentially yelling throughout all these 25-page statements that you're dropping. I don't know. I think I just have a little more decorum, but who am I to say? Luckily, I've never been in this situation in my life, so maybe it is different when you're on that side of the fence. I don't know. I'm not seeing it, Connor. I'm not seeing it here.
The whole strategy from his end. I mean, I get it. Like you said, I get it. He's trying to, get a couple.
I'd be upset too.
Yeah. He might get a buyout from this. I wouldn't be surprised if it was $5 or $10 million to be all right, now go away. It's over. Yeah. But I don't know. The way it was handled is kind of makes me question his character from the first place. He's obviously getting lawyer feedback. Yeah. Do this, write this, say this. But you're trusting these people to tell you to come out and attack and attack and attack. Where was that game planning when we were playing Michigan?
I would like to see that on the field. Yeah, a little more calls to recruits instead of your close personal vendor friend as well. A little misplaced energy throughout this whole.
And how fitting is it that all this comes out at midnight after a game? Like, talk about time management. Like, just horrible time management. Horrible. And then he takes 2 days to respond to anything. No adjustments made. No adjustments.
No, we're all doing great here. Oh, Connor, we got to talk about this quarterback battle here going on. I also want to talk about coaching candidates with you, and we have some listener questions I want to get into as well. But first, I know it's early, but I'm going to send you to the bench already because I need to talk to people's ears off about DoorDash. And DoorDash is not an old name. It's not unfamiliar. We all know who DoorDash is. We have treated them throughout the last few years with our restaurant deliveries. Well, don't just leave it for restaurant deliveries. Hey, leave it to their grocery delivery service as well. You've trusted DoorDash to deliver your restaurant favorites, and now you can get grocery delivery that actually delivers as well. Let's say you're on the couch. It's 7:28 this Saturday, and oh my goodness gracious, I just ran out of every single 2-liter of Pepsi that I have, but I'm not going to miss kickoff. Well, just hit up DoorDash. They're going to bring any grocery that you want to you. It is sensational. And hey, if you want even more value, you can save on all your grocery and restaurant favorites with a $0 delivery fee on all eligible orders with a Dash Pass membership. Get 50% off of your first DoorDash order up to $20 when you use code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE at checkout. That's all one word, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE. Limited time offer, terms apply. Again, that's 50% off of a $20 order, no minimal subtotal, and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter promo code LOCKEDONCollege. Don't forget, that's code LOCKEDONCollege for 50% off of your first order with DoorDash. And also, hey, if you want to be the best looking person at Spartan Stadium, at the sports bar, your man cave, any tailgate, HomefieldApparel.com. HomefieldApparel.com. They have any vintage logos that you could ever be looking for, or maybe even the ones you're not looking for. When you go to HomefieldApparel.com, you're going to see some MSU logos that you may have not even known existed. They do a great job of combing through old yearbooks, programs, talking to historians within the university to make these sensational articles of clothing. We're talking hoodies, sweatshirts, lawn sleeve t-shirts, hats. They got it all hooked up at HomefieldApparel.com. So what are you waiting for? I'll say the website one more time. Go to HomefieldApparel.com, but don't forget to smash in promo code LOS23. That is LOS23 for 15% off of your first order. That is HomefieldApparel.com, promo code LOS23. All right, come back out here, Connor. We're just digging you back out. Hey, there's a quarterback controversy in East Lansing. No matter what the acting head coach says an hour after benching his starting quarterback, I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm a Harlan Barnett sympathizer. I feel bad for the guy. I think he's the guy on the staff that you want in this role, but that was objectively hilarious to say there's no quarterback controversy after he just benched his starting quarterback in the fourth quarter, third quarter, whatever it was last game. Regardless, I'll stop bloviating. Connor, who do you want to see under center Saturday night at Kinnick Stadium?
I mean, everybody who knows me probably knows the answer to this. I've been advocating for Houser since, first minute of the first game against Central. After Noah Kim's first incompletion, I was like, all right, I've seen enough. Get him out of here. He's not it, clearly. But I was right. I was obviously right. All jokes aside, Kim looked good against bad teams, and we kind of got tricked into, maybe he's better than we thought. He got off to slow starts in both of those games, though. I think he was 0 for 4 against Central to start, and then he was
it was tough.
Yeah, and it was almost as bad against Richmond to start. It was just overthrows, bad reads, holding the ball too long. I don't know, just he doesn't look comfortable out there, which is not what you want to see from a guy who's been in the program since, basically D'Antonio days. I don't know. I think you have to go with the guy who gives you the higher upside, the guy who came in both games and led long drives immediately. Immediately. The offense wasn't doing anything all game long. He comes in, they go all the way down to the 5-yard line, and then we call a halfback screen at the 5. What? First of all, what are we doing? Great call. Great call. Yep. Got to throw it over the lineman to get to the running back. And there's already 22 guys in a 5. I don't know. Either way, Houser looked better than Kim in such a small amount of time. And even Sam, give one of the two young guys a chance.
We did have a listener question. This is from Matt C. He wrote in a few listener questions, and his question was, is a screen pass on the 5-yard line the dumbest offensive call from Jay Johnson ever? That's a quick conversation. Yes. Certainly it is. But okay, so Connor, you are the home team right now. I think you're going to have a home field advantage because I think your opinion is the majority. And here I go. Let's have a little debate right now, Connor. This is nice. We got a little bit of first take action going on right now because, and look, I can't believe I'm going to do this either because before the season I said if it's, neck and neck, I would give it to Houser, the kid with more upside. Mm-hmm. However, talked about this on yesterday's show, but it was just me and the microphone. They can't really talk back. I said, let's keep it with Kim for one more game here. All right. And again, I know that I'm probably in the minority crowd right now, but I do want to bring this up. And first, I will say, the first interception, terrible. There's no excuse for that one. However, after that one, the rest of the half, was it Kim's fault that when they got to the 5-yard line, there was a flag on first down? That the second down play was a handoff to Jordan Simmons? That third down and goal from the 5-yard line, hey, where's my big 6'7" tight end that I like to throw to, Malik Carr? Oh, why is he drinking from a Gatorade bottle on the sidelines right now? That seems pretty strange. And then, fourth down, the tried and true Zone run to the right side on 4th and goal. And then the next drive, Nathan Carter fumbles. I don't see how that's Kim's fault right there. And then, well, okay, right before half, you have Jalen Franklin dropping a ball inside the 10-yard line. You have Montori Foster dropping a touchdown right there. Look, I know Noah Kim isn't perfect. I'm not saying that he should be, second team all Big Ten this year, but I don't think it's necessarily 100% his fault. And the other reason I want to see Kim is because maybe I'm just a wuss. There's a lot of evidence to support that, Connor, that I am just not built for a lot of situations in life. But do we want Houser's first start to be at Kinnick under the lights? Or let's say it doesn't really work out for Kim again. It is clear that it is not going to work out. Do we give Houser the bye week? Do we let him have his first game at Rutgers instead of at Iowa and then go on the rest of the season? Is there something there, or are you just like, absolutely not? I've seen enough. It was 7 quarters against Power 5 football before we even saw a touchdown drive by Noah Kim. Did I sway you at all or no?
No, I mean, you have brought up the one point that I've actually considered, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But then again, like, what are you just chalking this up to a loss because you're running out the quarterback that, like, if your head coach says he played the backup quarterback because they needed a spark, why is that spark not always sparking in the starting lineup? I understand, Kinnick at night against an Iowa defense that, probably will shut us out for 3 quarters or whatever it is.
It doesn't take much. Yeah, right.
It's not an ideal first start for a guy like Houser, but like, are we just okay with losing to Iowa? Are we okay with not giving it a shot to see? And I understand, like, if Houser struggles, everybody's going to be like, all right, Houser sucks too, which is not fair because it's Iowa on the road. I don't think any of the 3 quarterbacks on the roster go into Iowa and have a career day.
It'd be tough.
At night, under the lights. Like, nobody does well at Iowa under the lights ever. Like, it's just not a thing. It's like going to Purdue and playing basketball. You're missing 90% of the shots you put up. It's just not going to, So
that's a good comparison.
Yeah,
it is a good comparison.
It's pretty even. Like, those two are very comparable. I just think, at what point during the Iowa game are we like, okay, time to make a switch? Like, is it when he's like 2 for 11 for 9 yards in the first quarter, or is it like in the third quarter when it's already 21-0? Like, when do we? Because Barnett in the Washington game, I mean, he could have given the reins to Houser when it was 35-0 at halftime. And he decided to run Kim out there. Kim did nothing again for a whole other quarter.
That was interesting.
And then same with the Maryland game. I mean, the offense is just not getting it done. I get that there were drops. Those 2 drops were backbreakers. Like the one touchdown from Foster and then the other one from Franklin, backbreakers. But other than that, like, most of his throws are just off. They're just off. So
you've seen enough. You've seen it.
I'm willing to let him trot out there against Iowa for a quarter, and if he's 2 for 11 for 9 yards in the first quarter, you got to make a switch. You have to. He's not the best. He's not the best guy to lead you to win.
That is, I think that's the number one storyline going into the game now, is that it's been made apparent that Kim is still going to start. Like, it doesn't matter what me or you say clearly. It's Harlan Barnett's decision, and based on Monday's press conference, he is going to be the starter, Kim, that is. But that's the number one storyline, is like, how long is that leash going to be? Because we've seen how long it can get, just like you said, 35-0 against Washington, and it didn't even look like they were thinking about mixing it up there at quarterback. And then last week, I mean, he had the touchdown drive and then 2 3-and-outs, and then it was time for the yank. That's going to be fascinating.
Could you imagine what the narrative would be if Houser led, like, we didn't run a halfback screen on the 5-yard line, and Houser led a touchdown drive again, and we were within 1 score with 8 minutes to go or however much it was, and then he leads him to a comeback win. There's just no way he couldn't start. There's no way that you could. But knowing how the coaching staff is, I think Kim would still be named the starter. And
fair enough.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
But loyalty in this program has killed a lot of coaches.
You think? Yeah. Playing quarterbacks when they are maybe hurt, kind of like Brian Lewerke, and I believe it was the 2019 season where that all unfolded. And I don't know. I kind of hypothesized this yesterday, that I think that Harlan Barnett almost alluded to Kim being a little hurt because, well, we all saw him walk off the field after that. Like, he had one leg, and then he got lit up pretty good early on in the Washington game as well, landed on his shoulder. Now, I've not heard anything, but, like, I don't know. Yeah.
I thought the same thing. I know exactly what you're talking. It was like the first drive of the game, right? And he was, like, going back to
correct.
Throw.
Yeah. Not ideal. And then he was asked after the game, like, hey, was it performance or was it health? And then Harlan Barnett started his answer with, and then he stopped himself after saying just literally 2 letters, A and L. But I thought he was going to say a little bit of both. But again, I'm getting way into the weeds here of just guessing what a guy was going to say. But still,
playing an injured quarterback, whether he's like
it goes great. Yeah, it goes awesome. Yeah.
I mean, like, not that I thought Barnett had much of a chance to get the head coaching job.
No.
That just squashes any serious look you get. Like, that just squashes it.
Hey, have you guys ever been hurt or sick at home? Well, and you guys are just, SOL. Jace Medical is going to take care of you. Connor, I'm keeping you on the screen for this one. Why not? Go ahead and get yourself the Jace case. That is right. Jase Medical wants to take care of you. They're going to provide 5 life-saving antibiotics for emergency use. All it takes to get a Jace case is fill out a simple online form, and in some cases, jump on a quick call with one of their board-certified physicians, and you are going to get sent the doctor-created, doctor-recommended Jace case. Connor, keep it in your home. Keep it in your RV. Keep it in your boat. Or, hey, Connor, if you're going to travel abroad soon, just stash that in your luggage because, God, could you imagine just puking your guts out and you're in Argentina and you have no idea how to get a doctor? Well, just go into your suitcase, get the Jace case out, dig up one of those antibiotics, and you are going to be set. And they're also going to hook you up with $20 off on these life-saving antibiotics today from Jace Medical by using my code LOCKEDON. That's all one word, LOCKEDON, at checkout at jasemedical.com. That is jasemedical.com, promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off at Jace Medical. All right, now that I've sold you on some antibiotics over there, Connor,
that was a great segue, by the way. That was just
thank you. Yeah, that was one of my smoother ones because usually there's a lot of turbulence getting off the ground when I started an ad read, but that was good. That one felt nice.
No worries, either, just like right into it.
No, we gun you down immediately. Yeah. So speaking of smoothness, let's just talk about a smooth tenure here in East Lansing that maybe has wrapped up. I don't know if he's technically fired or not, but point blank, he's never coming back the rest of our lives. Mel Tucker, that is. Let's just reminisce on the good days, though. It wasn't all bad, right? What was your favorite or some of your favorite parts of the Mel Tucker era, Connor? Because I got a few at the top of my mind. Some of them are very sarcastic. Some of them are not whatsoever. Like, hey, he did finish things with a winning record against Michigan. Second Michigan State head coach to do so. Shout out Mark D'Antonio as well. So, with that said, what are some great Mel Tucker memories for you, Connor? What do you got over there?
The 21 Michigan game is obviously number one. I don't think there's any game. There might not be a game that memorable for years, honestly. No. Like maybe depending on who we hire. Like if we hire Elko and he turns us around, maybe. But the Michigan game, that was like the atmosphere, everything about it. It just felt like we were turning it around. It just felt like everything was going in the right direction. And then the Peach Bowl also, like, obviously it was just kind of an ugly game for the most part. And then we woke up in the fourth quarter and put them away. Just those two probably come to mind the most. There's so many players that are more memorable than I would say like moments. Like, sure. Like Jaden Reed, like, gonna miss Jaden Reed, Kenneth Walker, Connor Hayward, like guys like that were just so iconic during the Tucker era that made it, semi-successful.
Yeah. I'm just going to get out in front of this right now. If there's a State fan out there that's like just really upset with how everything's going on, like I can be your scapegoat, because Connor, you bring up that Michigan game, and I remember I was on vacation, very fortunate to be in this. With that said, everyone else left the house to go do vacation things, and I was just in this apartment in my lonesome. Michigan State goes down 16 points, and I said out loud to a room of no one, I will do anything for a win here. Connor, since that has happened, we've gone 5-7. We've had a head coach embattled in scandal. We have done a lot of not great things here in East Lansing. And quite the contrary over there in Ann Arbor for a nice cherry on the top. They're going to go to their third straight college football playoff. They've won back-to-back Big Ten titles, and things can't be going better for them right now. So if anyone wants someone to blame, just have it be me, because the monkey paw curled that day when I said I will do anything for a win, because, well, anything has happened, and a win also happened as well. So sorry about that. What was your highest point, though, in the Mel Tucker era? When did you think that we are the next Georgia? Like, we are going to eclipse Alabama? Because for me, it was the following June after that 2021 season when it is just five-star city. We got the Ferraris on the field. We are just steady flexing out there, and I just felt like we are untouchable right now. It's going to be like this forever, Connor. That's what was your highest moment?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good point to like look to as a high point. Like we were getting, we had a weekend where we had like 6 5-stars on campus or something, which is just unfathomable for Michigan.
Couldn't be touched.
Like maybe talked to 1 5-star in his entire tenure, and it was Malik McDowell. The Michigan game was probably like the highest point for me because like you jinxed it. Obviously, you said you'd do anything for when literally the following week we lose to Purdue. And just embarrassing, like same old Spartans fashion. Yeah. And then, we have a little bounce back game, and then we immediately just lose like 100-0 to Ohio State or whatever the score was. So, I mean, you got your win. You were happy for that, one day by yourself with no one to celebrate with. I'm very happy for you.
It was amazing.
It just cost us the program. I mean, our program.
Yeah, that's all.
But yeah, the Michigan game is probably the high point. Peach Bowl was up there. But the recruiting, when we were bringing in all those recruits, I was like, oh, my God. Like, how are we not winning the Big Ten next year? And for the next 10 years.
God. We were unironically talking like national title by 2026. The roadmap is there. And, Connor, I'm just trying to make the Music City Bowl by 2026 at this point now, man. Like,
a singular bowl. I'll take any bowl at this point. If you invite us, we'll be there.
Yeah, make one up. Sure. In Wichita, Kansas on December 7th. We'll call it the Shuck and Corn Bonanza Bowl. I don't care who it's got to be against. Whatever. Do you know what? Well, why not just flip to the contrary right here? Lowest point of the Mel Tucker era, in your opinion? Because for me, it's simple, and maybe this is a hindsight thing, but looking back, we could all see the writing on the wall when the NF Tuck came out, when he tried to pimp out NFTs. If there's a chart of program trajectory, it went straight into the red starting at that point. So that's my lowest point.
Yeah, the NF Talk was not great. Like, I get that it was for charity. It was just such a...
Was it, though? I
don't know. At this point, I don't know. At this point, I have no idea. Like, yeah. A lot of things, like, looking back are like, that was probably a red flag a little bit. I would say the lowest outside of these past 3 weeks, which I don't know if you can really count that the Tucker era because he's not the coach anymore.
Yeah, well, by the play on the field, it certainly still seems like the Tucker era, so I'll count it. Yeah,
true. The lowest of low, like where I'm like, we're dead. I'm dead. I'm never recovering from this emotionally, or if I'm betting on it financially, would probably be the Indiana game last year. That was very Mark D'Antonio, 2019 Illinois, just the chokiest of chokes that I've ever seen in my entire life. You had to try to lose that game. And we did. We tried so hard to lose. We got an extra chance at the end of regulation to be like, okay, we gave up like, I don't even know. We were up at like 18 or something in that second
17. half. 17. Who remembers, though? It's fine. We're over it. Yeah.
Within 3 minutes, like I got in my car and started driving to my friend's house. And within 3 minutes, I literally turned on the radio. It was a 3-point game. I was like, very cool. And then we miss a 20-yard field goal that I'm pretty sure I could make with my eyes closed. And I've never been a kicker in my life. No. Easy. Yeah, I don't know. Indiana's the lowest point.
Not only that, but like also overtime, we blocked there. Yeah, we blocked Indiana's field goal. So we had like 2 overtimes to do it. And even that wasn't enough. So like that's obviously first place. I dare anyone to find like something that even gives that competition for the top of the podium as far as lowest moments go. But oh boy, did I really start to like have a really bad feeling about how things are going to be going when we got absolutely row the boat raced by PJ Fleck at home. Was that a homecoming game as well last year? That also might have been homecoming. Wow. Yeah. Wow, MSU certainly has a way with homecomings lately, don't they? Jesus. But yeah, well, we got absolutely just aced in our own stadium. That's when I started having a really bad feeling that like, okay, if Tanner Morgan looks like Joe Burrow right now, this could be a long one encore to the Peach Bowl here.
Yeah, I think after the Washington game, I was like, oh, there's still like good things to take from it. Thornton looked terrible. Right. Coleman's clearly like amazing.
It's a road game. It's weird, game, the sleep bank.
Way better than expected. Right. And then the next week, or I don't know if it was the next week or the week after when we played Minnesota. I think it was the next.
I think it was.
And then it was just like over. Like it was just over. The whole Mel Tucker era was over at that point. So I agree with you. That was when I was coming to terms with, okay, we're not good. It's over. We should have, there's the red flag should have been there when we lost to Rutgers in the first game of the Mel Tucker era. That should have been the red flag.
Good God. Yeah. Great times. Wow. What a roller coaster this show has been here, Connor. Always kind of is though. I think when you hop on here, we really, we don't look at the thing where it says like, oh, don't let your highs get too high or lows get too low. Like we are either at like a 2 or a 9.
I've never been just like consistently across the board on one of your podcasts. It's either like,
no,
like I'm buying all the way in, like pre NCAA tournament us,
right?
Always like post week 4 Michigan State football us. That's just like, wow, this is it's it. This is the end. Oh, I have a question for you. I don't know if you're.
Oh God, please.
Do you have any more questions?
No, I don't. No.
Okay, I was going to ask you who your top candidate would be for head coach.
I'm going to just go with the one everyone's saying right now, Mike Elko. I reserve the right to change that answer any given day now because Charles Huff is pretty appealing. I like that. Jonathan Smith, I would absolutely love, but I just don't see it happening from the Oregon State leaving his alma mater that way. But like that's my guy's just Mike Elko, just simply put. How about you? You got a quick one for us?
I would probably say Elko and Huff too. The only thing that scares me about Smith is like, can he recruit? Like we don't know if he can recruit because he's been at Oregon State and he's never had to.
Right.
But like Elko has been at Texas A&M, Notre Dame, and So I'm 100% with you. Elko and Huff are my top 2.
Yeah. Sorry we didn't get more of the coaching search thing, but man, there's just like 1,000 things we could talk about, and we hit on what we hit on. And just like I said, up and down conversation. I don't even smoke, and I leave every conversation with you feeling like I need a cigarette because, man, it is just emotional whiplash when we talk MSU sports. So can't wait to have you on again, my man. Thanks a lot for joining. You are truly Connor, you're truly the best, man. And so is everyone else that watched, that listened. Please rate, review, and subscribe. We will be back tomorrow with Chase Glasser of Spartans Illustrated. And then to end the week, Trent Condon of Locked On Hawkeyes to get you geared up for the first road game of the season. Jesus. All right. Until then, hey, love you all. Go Green.